Welcome back to the YOUniverse Podcast. I'm your host, Shanleigh, and today we're diving into a topic that can elevate your professional life and your career to the next level. We're going to talk about how you can sustain optimal professionalism from everything from networking to job offer negotiations, effective interviewing, punctuality, and dressing for success. Let's get into it. We're going to keep the basics. So we're breaking down these areas with real life scenarios and strategies that you can do to implement them immediately. So whether you're just starting your career or you're looking to take it to the next level, this episode is going to be for you. So let's get started. So topic number 1, we want to optimize our professional network. Building a solid professional network is one of the most powerful tools for anyone's career, but also their growth. It's not just about how many people you know, but it's the quality of the people and the relationships that you have nurtured over time. So imagine you're at a networking event. You're feeling a little out of your comfort zone. How do you turn these interactions into genuine connections instead of just collecting business cards and small talk about the weather and the day and the position that's looking to be filled, right? Lead with value. When you're meeting somebody new, focus on how you can add value to their life or their career path rather than just what they can do for you. Ask questions like, what challenges are you facing in your industry right now? This approach shows that you're genuinely interested in them and not just looking to gain something. Now, a huge one that is a highly missed opportunity is follow-up. The most important thing that you can do in networking is what happens after that initial meeting. Send a personalized follow-up at least within 48 hours of meeting somebody new. I always say 24 is good practice. Mention something specific from that conversation to make it more meaningful, but also to strengthen the connection, right? It shows you were actively listening. Next, we definitely want to make sure that we're staying consistent. So networking is not a one-time activity. We want to regularly engage with your contacts. We want to share relevant articles, congratulating them on their achievements, or inviting them to events. This can all be done just from LinkedIn even. So remember, consistency will keep you on top of the mind without appearing opportunistic. Okay, so this is a big pivot here, but let's talk about job offer negotiations. I think this is a big one that we all have faced at some point. So a critical skill that we know that can really impact the trajectory and financial stability of our own well-being. So many feel uncomfortable about negotiating. But remember, you received the offer, so it means that they want you. So ask for what you believe you deserve. That's really hard to do, but you have the power at that point. So picture this. You've just received an offer from a company that you're really excited about, but that salary isn't just quite what you were hoping for. How do you approach this conversation without jeopardizing the offer? Well, at this point, you should have done your research before even entering the negotiation. So make sure you have a clear understanding of the market rate for that position, the industry, and the location. Websites like Glassdoor or PayScale can give you a good benchmark or at least a range to base your expectations on. Then you want to be strategic with your timing, right? So the best time to negotiate is after you've already received the offer, not before you've actually accepted it, okay? We don't want to accept it on a former offer. We want to accept it with the offer that we want. So use language like, I'm excited about the opportunity, and I believe that my skills and experience align well with this role. Is there room to discuss the base salary or other aspects of the offer? You're also, not being overbearing, but you're also saying you're hoping to have a further discussion. Focus on the entire package. If the salary itself isn't flexible, consider negotiating other things like your benefits, your vacation days, remote work flexibility, professional development even. These are all things that show that you're actively looking to win the situation rather than just money, which is equally important, but there are so many other ways we can have our cake and eat it too. But also, we want to know our worth. So of course, if you are navigating the job market unemployed, desperation for income can make it really easy to take whatever's offered to you. But listen to me, do not do this, okay? Take steps backwards. Taking steps backwards can be good if you're looking to kind of pivot industries, but If that's not your goal, please don't settle for anything less than you have previously earned, especially if you've put the time in to have earned that before. Okay, so maybe this is a little bit out of sequence here, but that's okay. Let's talk about effective interviewing techniques. Maybe common knowledge to you, but not to everybody. So interviewing is a skill that's crucial whether you're looking for a new job or you're aiming for a promotion within your current company. How you present yourself in an interview can really just make all of the difference. Okay, so let's say that you're in an interview and the hiring manager asks you a little tricky question. What's your biggest weakness? How do you respond in a way that's honest, but also leaves a positive impression of your work ethic? So first and foremost, frame that weakness as a growth opportunity. You choose a weakness that you've actively been working to improve and explain the steps that you're taking to overcome them. For example, I sometimes struggle with delegation, but I've been taking steps to improve by setting clear guidelines and trust building with my team. We also want to keep it relevant and professional, so we want to avoid talking about personal flaws or weaknesses totally unrelated to the job. Truly try to focus on your skills that can be realistically improved and are relevant to the role that you're actually interviewing for. We also want to highlight those problem-solving skills. And you're kind of doing this all at once, right? So we want to use this opportunity to self-reflect, but take constructive criticism. Employers value candidates that can identify areas for improvement and are proactively working on them. It shows that you are forward moving. Now, this is something that is not common knowledge, but STAR method. The STAR method is situation, task, action, result. This is behavioral interviewing technique that really does capture your experience alongside situational characteristics. In essence, they ask you questions that measure your behavior and how you respond in different scenarios. But it makes your responses short and to the point with very little room for misinterpretation. I actually like the effectiveness of STAR method. And if you'd like my advice, I created a work experience bank that is based on a variety of potential behavioral questions that are often seen in interviews. I truly encourage that you Google or even create one of your own. It will save you time and energy for any future interviews that you may have. Now, my favorite above all is the importance of punctuality. So let's talk about that. A seemingly simple aspect of professionalism that speaks volumes to your reliability and respect for others people's time. So let's put it to a scenario, right? Imagine you were running late to a very important meeting or even an appointment, right? We've all been there. But how you handle it really does make the difference with the person that you're trying to meet or the group of people that you're trying to meet. Step one to that kind of scenario, we want to communicate immediately. The moment you realize that you're going to be late, let the other person know. Thank them for their patience and understanding, but also give them an accurate estimate of when you will arrive. Now, I like to highlight this too. Don't apologize for being human. Simply just recognize the pain point and extend your gratitude. You should never say sorry for running late. This shows that you respect their time, but you're also taking responsibility for the delay, and you appreciate that they are working with you during that time of delay. Then you want to respect the time that you do have, right? So once you arrive, acknowledge the time constraints and make an effort to stay focused and efficient during the remaining portion of that meeting or appointment. You want to respect that time now, and being mindful of it helps smooth over the fact that you were late in the first place. Then from that, we want to reflect and adjust. If you notice a pattern of lateness, take a step back and reflect on what's causing it. Are you overscheduling yourself? Or do you need to plan more time in your travel? We want to address the root cause to help you maintain that punctuality in the future. We don't want to continue the pattern. And remember, punctuality is much like a first impression. It can make or break someone's perception of you, your character, and even your work ethic. Although someone else's opinion doesn't mean much to us personally or define who we are, but it can set the tone of the reputation that follows your name. Your aspirations in this life will determine how much weight that actually holds for you. Okay, so we've talked about a lot here, and it is a little out of order, but let's talk about appropriate attire. The way you dress in professional settings can set the tone for how others perceive you before you even say a word. Body language, people. It says everything. So Shanleigh, what do you mean? How do I dress for an interview or a job or a networking opportunity? Picture this. You have a job interview. You're standing in front of your closet and you're wondering what the heck am Bob to wear. The goal here is to dress in a way that shows professionalism, respect, and a little bit of your personality, right? Because we don't want to totally remove who you are at your core. Remember, they're also hiring your personality, so we want to keep that incorporated too. So research the company culture. Find out if the company has business casual or formal dress code. You can usually tell from the company's website or social media, but it's always a safe bet to dress slightly more formal than the average employee and show that you take the opportunity very seriously. Dress to impress, as they say. On the other hand, we really do want to choose classic and neutral colors. Opt for something like black, navy, gray, or white. They're not only professional, but they're very versatile and easy to style if you're trying to mix up the combos. And if you want to add a little pop of color, I think doing it with an accessory like a tie or a scarf or even jewelry is a good starting point. And remember, we want to keep jewelry simple and classic. Avoid wearing overpowering fragrances. Your shoes need to be closed-toed. We don't want to distract them with our toes and our nail color. And ladies, be mindful of your skirts, your dresses, and cleavage. We don't want anything too short or too revealing for distraction. Then we want to dress with confidence, right? The most important aspect of your attire is how it makes you feel, and that will exude when you're confident. So feel good in what you're wearing. It will show in your posture, your tone, and your overall demeanor. And I think above all, you'll feel more comfortable during the actual interview when you are having those difficult questions. So what are my final thoughts and takeaways for this episode today? We talked about a lot out of sequence. So as we wrap up this episode, remember that professionalism isn't just about checking off a list of do's and don'ts. It's about presenting the best version of yourself in any situation and narrowing opportunities for developed bias. Whether it's through thoughtful networking, confident negotiations, polished interviews, punctuality, dressing with intention, all of these strategies combined can really create a lasting impression that lead to those new opportunities. If not in that moment, certainly later. So with all of that, my friends, I would really love to hear your stories about how you've navigated these aspects of professionalism, how you've navigated the job market. Have you ever successfully negotiated a job offer? Have you turned down a challenging interview question or even an offer if it wasn't what you were looking for in the end? Let's continue the conversation on social media and in the comment section. I'd really love to know about it. And more importantly, above all, don't forget to tune in next Wednesday for the latest episode. Stay true, stay brave, and keep moving forward. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time on the YOUniverse Podcast. Ta-ta for now.